Things were sailing quite smoothly, and indeed we're beginning to enjoy some of the lowest fuel prices in a long time. Unfortunately, they say man proposes, God disposes. I don't know what came into the heads of Trump, Netanyahu, and all of them to start this war.
Yeah, state of nation. So now, President Mahama says, oh, the fundamentals are okay. Macroeconomic stability has been achieved. Yes, I know Makachre. Inti enono efahin akoye mframa one time ayira inti say no President Mahama say bompaye enne saafo no bompaye krum ha say war no end
masa nyame ne si hene
ana nyame esi no ana afi wo hu so NDC they are bold liars obi bold liars ade no eye say obi omudi ntro ene ba inti nyankopon emfo asantro we so inti nyankopon na si no ntro we funtumi fankoje ade nyankopon sem.
It's a very good month today. It's a very new month. April 1st. People used to call it April Fool. I know people will be the Jimmy Payasam Katwa. Na metian me drop papa me na me say ska ko wiase na eye krata tintinti bi emfa so bia emba but ni nemu no otwadi ampo ahwe me no mienu so emma bosom na kwa aprasa ba betwe yen eye afefoforo de ma me no mienu enti yankropon enhwe so won hwe wo so bosom mu emma wo ho masam sense wo ho ehia me wada woro ma hwe ho ye ma me wate na yankropon shira ebusia. A very good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, sculpture girl. Baby am obi an metia mo ebusia wa wo hwe ye bia an metia ya me shira na won President John Dramani Mahama what's it there? Ye ndi nkomo kakra. President John Dramani Mahama what's it there? Ya de na ekoso o se ye de. Wonim ade ba ko a etoda wodwene ho a wonti ase na wonti ase a wobe se wakoma ya wo ya kakra. President John Dramani Mahama say wo bom pai say Iran ne Israel ntokwa ne be ye de eto betwa anase be ye de wo bi nka se ma eto ntwa but eto betwa eboba na woto bodan na no papa sa boba no na asan ba wo so no enna no bi ebra na wote bebi a wo dwendwen wo ho ye nyamfa wo se Ghana mampani papa wo di nkomo bi o wo ka kire o man se Russia and Ukraine to kwade nkemfa ye ho papa afi de ba ne se na de wo ka se onipa na ehhehye na nyankopon o se de a wo se onipa na ehhehye na nyankopon na ye de a President John Dramani Mahama se de was it Iran ni Ukraine can't say Iran ni Israel to kwano affect ya na but breaking news for your information e patro ende yai ya to diesel mu ya to petrol fuel ya to tum ni ade e bi ni nam 17 point something 15 point something 13 point something e bi ani wa ya 12 point something ya to ni nemu or was it there because of Iran ni Israel to kwano ntia na things
were sailing quite smoothly, and indeed we're beginning to enjoy some of the lowest fuel prices in a long time. Unfortunately, they say man proposes, God disposes. I don't know what came into the heads of Trump, Netanyahu, and all of them to start this war. But unfortunately, while the CD remains stable, if this had happened when the CD was at 17, we probably could not have been able to survive. But the good thing for us is that the CD remains stable, and so the push factor in the oil price buildup is not coming from the currency, because happily the currency is remaining stable. The push factor is coming from the price of crude oil and finished products. And so far, we've absorbed it. It's not affected us as much, but if this thing continues some more, then we'll have to take some decisive decisions. Some of the weapons we have is to look at the margins to try and cushion consumers, and then also look at the recently imposed 1 CD development levy to try and cushion consumers. But my hope is that sooner than later, this war will come to an end, and we'll see more stable fuel prices. But for now, government remains concerned because fuel prices move the transport sector, and the transport sector is the main driver of inflation. If fuel goes up, the cost of transporting food items goes up, and it affects the inflation in the food basket. And so I'm happy we have thinkers like Duncan and Co. We're all looking at what is going on and praying that the war comes to an end. But if it doesn't, what other methods can we use to cushion the fuel price so that we don't see an increase in inflation?
When in penny forces a war with one sayasha, what ye President John Dramani Mahama. The aquas one and you be at the bet. Yea, Ghana honey war. Israel any running to come fire home, Papa. Yeah, and fire home. Said the old person and Crawford Yama on the sand and Kawonso Papa, but that woman Kawonso Yama for. But yes, answer Kunya, and then to me, I am no pentino. I am Mubejina Simpiania Pasua. Papa Moka de Yamudu. Mokan some of the dada Ghana for Tisian. Ghana for Jin this and what they are trying to cushion the back on Yaswana. Ghana for Jin this, na a ye bread, and I'm what the back on Yanswana. And penny for more Cassabi say, say, come de was said, dear Papa, won't him for one Sabian, and did. And this a wood dim common now. So I look at your son said, Tinabi, a Tinabi, wait me draw. Now I did by acquiring a young President John Dramani Mahama, who say, what no crowd what Tina Kunyano so pay. The bread what gunning in up pay what dibida, and to when him see be our mind, a membu at ye. But in name of Papa John Dramani Mahama, I'm fine yasam. What dim mebunu beati, what dim penny for beati. Emma one also bedane sabi. Or trofo. Obedani sabi in previous. Obedani or trofo ni body penny for beati. Ebe catches Iran, Russia, Ukraine to come fire. What dim come up, there are several videos here. But media more President John Dramani Mahama. Dim come, I say, I say, or mine on Fano. Under President John, I'm under President Addo for the may say there was something called Covid-19. Nina Musi and fire. There was something called Ukraine and Russian took Musi and fire. But in him, Addo prove to the people that yes, he can do it and do it better. And Namusi Yamon Pie in Kadie. Papa, tie na enkomo bi bekoso tie bra na ye wia ye behunu se competence no papa da woro afahe tie bra
fuel prices ana emrebi nanam external issues bia na ekoso crude price ekoso a ye translate eba hasema fuel prices koso no e kire se Akufo Addo aban no enitima na heartless never can say oni akoma oni do magana for enti na no dey osore ano increase fuel price no koya ko ka say oh na the enti ono kasa na ye say Ghana a net exporter actually say export oil ni bi crude export ni bi enti no say prices ne cost a ye benefit ye nyamfa so enti sa amfa so no adenti and Akufo Addo abaya o nitima
onfa bi
enso Ghana for asene say price the bottom na okowie no ka say akwa say Akufo Addo abaya ne de omo ni ideas bi abio the manage Ghana fuel prices wa obi we referee enyamba pitch no kwa no abo ben say prayer start you and fuel prices could the same now omo a enya sa idea we from the beginning Russia Ukraine war no o kana obi chiro obi da obi ka say we know it took us by surprise yes surprise but what I say everybody knew what was happening. And then we had the benefit. Now, all kinds of a MP boss in your Educhi. I can say, there was some 5 weeks be, and no, the young call them to the details. Say, I will cronim wow, okay, until cronim the in Adia. Okay, from that time on, what was the government doing? What, and then no more. ABC no, then no more. Asha, Madina Baby Doom Pepper so we. Afi ena president o den say good ti say ade di akodro de obo mpa say wo no be end the president kind no
o ka say obo mpa
na enti
ana wadwen o so say obo mpa
ana de all kind of what this say mpa no obo ana de no wo ye so say hope ana so hope a say obo mpa na hope obi ani wa hope a o mpa into or bumpire say war na end. Now I don't know say Trump was spilled out so as all catch a friend catch say o si mesi idea wo ye me hunu I mean the idea bia me the best idea. That's practically where we are obi into where we have gotten to now no assuming say the obvious interventions really in the say be taxes the way but be a bit drew no under NDC under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama omo kan sema kese Ghana ha say Akufo-Addo government is insensitive heartless we are run out of ideas and then sa for no bompaye krum ha say a war no end now it's not only empire no more bono and the etiakoma the idea say almost say war no and akofaba because
but that's the reality.
They don't know that reality and they don't deserve any benefit of doubt in that calculation say war between akofaba because that will be omokai says I will be no emfashe babia now it is now so all can na war no ho chirapo all can na war no so Akufo-Addo's government is heartless insensitive into omono the same situation is playing out pepe Bibian's side the only thing that has changed is obi your president fufro that's it ain't no say no what has changed. My point obi is that competent leadership anticipates problems and plan for it. 5 weeks of reserve or mokaya BDCs for stock I wo ya to din say no ne wo Ghana ha plus the capacity for a friend saying central refinery lay to be almost say about 40% according to a CEO what was their plan? Let me see Neno. I think Duncan Walker so because what he is saying, has the government thought about this? Is there a plan, a backup plan? The Walker said by now no we should be scavenging for cargoes even say I take all say boss margin I think it's a conversation to find out say what has that money been used for. Actually say sa sikei your baby or what size can to be a use to be able to build buffers but the ATN say we don't have any buffers and this government has no idea and no way and yes speculation obi president Nanaka or say the drone there do their thing now. How many days now into the war? Just about some 30, is it close to about 30 days or so into this war?
Yeah, almost a month.
Yes.
Yes.
And the president has run out of ideas. I told Paibo, the National Day of Fasting and Prayer to hold the hand of Trump from issuing more commands, say, war and Koso. How can you run a country like this? Obi, sir, I said me kind sir infographic. Now I'm trying to say, is it the same President Mahama and the NDC? Now and now be a true no say macroeconomic stability no more come. Into economic stability, then you more can in no. I could see saying say, because we had all those challenges because the fundamentals were pre-existing conditions, right?
Yeah.
That aggravated the situation. But in state of nation, so now President Mahama says, the fundamentals are okay. Macroeconomic stability has been achieved. Yes, I know Mokachre. Inti enono efahin akoye mframa one time ayira enti say no President Mahama see empire na do sa bre no a see empire no hu say ideas bi ani hobio ti we dey ato nyame enya nyame nsusu na ye president nyame de oye global president ya but Ghana de ye ni ato President Mahama so say ene de ono say ye nko head the boss
but say nyame na si ene
ana nyame esi no ana afi wo hu so and then say Obi like the question we should ask is I am papa so nyame see no majority because omudi ntrobe bere let me go back a little bit. Omo di intro, there abuka John Jinapoka intro poto ano kai. Say Ghana is a net exporter. Yeah, if we export crude, it's not the same thing we are putting in our car. Is it the case?
No.
Actually, net importer.
We are
Yes,
not importer.
maybe I'm coming. But he says we are net exporter, and I'm just indulging him that. Say, okay, crude in the exporting. If you consider how much we are refining now, then we're exporting more than we are refining. So grant him that.
Yeah. Okay, that was the context.
No,
Okay.
oh, Masa, and you know, assuming that is the case,
Yeah.
but if that's what he means now, crude ne digu ekamu. Crude no, until you crude ne digu ekamu, and he said, oh, God said that's what he's talking about. In what context are you putting crude in your car? Mother, they say, and Adiano. I say, Obi, Omo dintro and the buy until Yanko Pong and force and throw away so. Until Yanko Pong the scene, no, and throw away from to me, Franco Dia Yanko Ponsem. Number 2, I say a car, theology. Go back near LGBTQ. And I ask some NDC, they are bold liars. Obi, bold liars. You sure them say they did
Liars are too harsh.
they be now I don't know one tea. You see LGBTQ, Obi. What tea Ghana had the course?
Yes.
Now and the same people are changing and no say LGBTQ is not a priority.
Kase, this time the countries involved near Miensa.
What does that mean? You see,
There are 3 countries.
No, that,
Ukraine,
what does it mean
Russia,
by
there are 2 countries.
What does it mean? What kind of well, Mamji and Amako can say my yanka.
No, but the facts show say this time 3 countries. Last
So
time
what's the
2
difference in
countries.
impact? We are talking about the impact of the war, not the participants in the war. Are we discussing the participants? Yet here come Crawford Mukuntokwa, another impact on Susan Tokano Ewo Edima or Mangana. Is that what we are discussing? Say the participants. And in any event, if you ask Russia whether the parties in the conflict were 2 or they will disagree. What was here? Where there's a that's where we have these conversations. But serious conversations, you don't bring up points like that because I mean, come on. We are talking about the effect of the war on global oil prices, on global economies. What is it? Stock prices are fluctuating every day because of futures are suffering.
Yeah.
People can no longer project and forecast. What was it? Because of Neokosi. Until you cannot say because US Israel is here against Iran until chain Ukraine. I mean, what kind of conversation is that? My issue is that near Ekosui, a chain say Ghana, we failed to plan. Oh, Namibia say the bust margin. No, it was meant for us. Yes, it was meant for us to have enough reserves. You can say fuel in times of crisis like Niyehui. And this is can say be a
bust reserve no.
No, margin now omujina is omudi reserves no. And this can it's a simple question.
Now, no say bust or lay pipes across the country or say protected pipes, no secure pipes. So they
are paying for security of the pipes.
No normal operation because no money. Say normal operations.
What are you saying? They buy and sell stocks, don't they? They buy stocks and they sell stocks.
Yeah, but for now, if you've studied what study bust operations over the years, now tanks essentially store private companies not stocks amount more.
And so you see the inefficiency. So why should we be paying for their inefficiency? Why should we be the victims of their inefficiency? Yes, bust up no. It was for bust to be a storage entity. And in storage, so they were supposed to have reserve fuel.
Yes.
For a rainy day like today. And if you reduce your wage to just storing stocks for private entities, that's a failure on your part. What must say?
Yeah, but also because of stocks, maybe no. That's how 12 pesos per liter.
That's not why. Are you telling me say until the bust margin the bar so not bust nisika the ejuma? Is that what you're saying? Until only 12 pesos you want to save you. Is that what you're saying? That is what they use to do their overheads. That's what they use to buy their stocks and the rest of that. Is that what you're suggesting?
That is what it seems.
No, if that is the case, then there's a problem because the margin was not even meant to be paying for overheads. What has here? So we need to question how Bost has been managing our stocks. If there's any entity,
if we have any stocks,
maybe if there is any entity say reserves no wahin, it should be Bost. Every country has. US is saying that they are going to release more energy when agency has agreed to release billions of liters of reserves to show up the existing stocks country Bia was had you can say Japan, they have the reserves, and almost the reserves without any importation of fuel, it can last them for up to 11 days.
11 days?
Yeah.
And then they are saying
no. Now you just
5 weeks.
You just raise the point. You just raise the point. Say you nibi. You just raise the point. Say you nibi.
Yeah, they are 5 weeks. And we private people there.
And then we don't have it.
I said, "What mining?"
No, if the private people say for example, we don't have it. What must say? But I'm talking about what is held in trust for the public, for the Japanese people.
Yes.
Say, if they don't get even a drop of fuel into the Japanese economy,
they have 11 days
to survive, on your own for 11 days. Yeah, for half a day, we don't have to survive on. So we need to separate what is theoretically available and what is practically available. And practically is zero. Theoretically, we can rely on the private, suppliers to see so storage tanks. Of course, this is simple, basic economics. When there is scarcity, that is when they determine the price. What was here, and you are going to pay through your nose. The question I keep asking is, why did we set up TOR?
Enra Omanpenny Asia CSOs no or say TOR is bouncing back.
What does that mean?
Now one committee is always a CSO player.
But I was not around.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Are you asking me?
No, you are reporting. I'm sure you understood the report, but you understood
what the
message
said,
better. Say it is bouncing back. What does that mean in real terms? What does that mean? Are they refining more crude? What is the number of barrels of crude they refine in a day? What I mean in practical terms, what does that mean? What must say? And when him say there have been individuals in this country, deliberately, the non-performance of TOR and used to their benefit.
Absolutely.
Unkrofua BDCs are almost imported refined products. The working of TOR is not in their interest, and we have political elements who are supporting the constant killing and suppression of TOR. What you say? When you say asset data are available, actually say TOR can refine the oil we get from the oil fields, but over the period, you can say TOR and Nisa machines are what TOR and refine crude, so that people can continue to import refined products and make more money. Oh, I was expecting say Abaya HM would have spent some energy in reviving TOR, but for the 8 years that the MPP was in office, TOR was not working. TOR was dead. What you say?
But workers were there now,
and they were taking salaries. So it was a liability. It was a huge cost to the state. Meanwhile, that was the time before NDC left, there was some semblance of revival under Wadako. Now, I said they even at some point claimed they had posted some profits and all that. I mean, I say claim, I want to choose my words advisedly. They claimed they had posted some profit. So let's even grant that. Which means there was some foundation. But at least there was some semblance of activity. We could have built on it, looked at the failings and then corrected them and so on. But for 8 years,
nothing happened.
Oh yeah, no, you can't say your best small mind. Uti, see your best sum or mine Ghana. And to know a dear be a way and then Unia. Who say a chinabi and then this if was say John Dramani Mahama say LGBTQ who here were mine and tina dear into young dear and then John Dramani Mahama be catch me say young boy ya boss we is answer and the first April ya 2 petrol to diesel me say diesel and in 17 point something Ghana cedis fuel and in 15 point something. And to most dear, you see, trot for no episode or the crack about Bonchese. So President John Dramani Mahama, I need Bribian for one. One also need other option. So mobile increase lorry fare. But this wasn't the promise you made to Ghanaians. President John Dramani Mahama, you didn't tell Ghanaians this. And as a way when you say eba, oh, young group workers say me also said the more person me yema when you said the man for and the near bra ye quite and kadia na first and John Dramani Mahama aba na nke betis oh and your kofom and your ye petro boss what and it helps the people of the country because that is why they voted for you. When you campaign basa papa when you campaign dinkomo bia na nkomo no mo di no na nkomo a nonfa but people used to believe that mo didi dinkomo bia na nkomo no mo di ya no na it was out of order, it was out of context, but ni name no people used to believe that. And mo ba ya no mo ma nipa no mo gye mo nsem di ya no mo ma nipa ne nkasa ya to aba wo na ya to aba pampa indeed aban papa. Less than 2 years. Listen, less than 2 years. Koko for anyway your problem. Less than 2 years. A nurse for papa woman will problem. Less than 2 years. Teacher for until first in history. Disabilities are a demonstration. It's your pine. Less than 2 years. Obedi 8 years. Ebema light dinner. So less than 2 years. We are experiencing another doom. So less than 2 years. Most of you ya tutum dezo ya tutum. Pepato idea be less than 2 years. Ye nyanya 2 years. Ye nyanya 2 years. But ni nemu no ye can't yasema ye nka because ye politics ye propaganda. Enti de ekwoso no nti say insu toy na ye hu a ade chinye nso wunua ya ntese fomafo ana ye hu se fomafo. Ye ka we no a mo say ye politics. We are not here to do politics. Even if we are here to do politics, we are here to do good politics. Because ade no a mo say me say what the opa me NPP emra ban mu na wo mo nso nye the same thing enti da bia me kasa me tu o mo for say enkwama a mo di opposition mo nhwema no kasa yie sanse ebre bi beba mo ntena fie sa mo beba te say the NDC fo nso abeye na sa mo nso mo beye sa pepepa mo nso mo begye mo ho gina enkwama bi wo ha minim se eye ni brebi se ye dufro pe so na wo mo tena fie 8 years ntro mo bedi sa enkwama no se te senyo but ene hwese bia nneoma eye but me say this for encrophobia omo ya smart to extend say sa ade bi ba be kwachewa o na omo de omo chana o ade bi akwhye baabi what hwe abutrika de na abranche no waye on the case no hwe kokofo me pa cho wo de hwe nurse fo wo de tuwani yesi sikeni ho but hwe black stars we no aye troka wo de hwe sika ya pejade ama black stars and the cocoa board sponsor programs be. You see, it's unfair. What do you know why you want to see? What do you don't understand. As for mine, in the President John Dramani Mahama say Yamompire, but no Yamompire. I feel they will confirm it to the people of Ghana that President Nana Dan Kukufuado was best because nay, what me be kasi Yamompire. That's a then time. I could not sabi previous and mo pedinti. Mo be try and trot to the Ghana for. Say mo ba mo de mo be ye. Sans aban papa eba. Hey, wo sectors in no be a tantro. Atofo se be ka to Ghana for say. Koko fo ne nka o makoma nto bi. John Dramani Mahama pa enyoma be yi. Wo tantro say trawo. Atofo se nkro na be ka to say. I can say man your friend say. Wo spokesperson Ofosukwate ebe ka kire se enisa aban ekobo bisia ebi twa the workers kasa aban ekobo bisia e wo sa aban bosia no eye besia wode be ye dwuma wode be invest but e ko wi ase no atofo be ka kire Ghana for say President John Dramani Mahama ni NDC aban needs to borrow 17 billion just to pay workers. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Money wumu abai kro no aka kire licensure teacher say licentialism small ntwe we betwem but abai kro no aba power no abai kro na timi ka kire Ghana for say yan ka na san kire mo. What kind of government is this? Aden sa abai no o ka kire Ghana for say 24-hour economy me de bebra mo me say papa ba MP ba ku bi de me say menya ne ho bre abebo ne video a kire na nsema me ka kire sa MP no wan hwe sa ada no ma no be koso wo MP wutimi ka kire and wutimi ka kire Ghana for so monko ye indomie nton the 24-hour economy I don't want to talk about it now. Me the whole video be need the whole. It's a video for another day. Ebusuya, I don't mean kasa be makasa chafacha be. Yanko comment section na yanko nkudin komo. Yanko comment section na yanko nkudin komo. Wada uruma, Smart Africa Media. Bidin jodman komo ba na kofi. Frema santi gudi, Macron.